So the Democratic primary for the 3rd Congressional District, the seat that's eventually going to go against Lauren Boebert, you got Sandoval. You have 7 candidates. Greg Smith dropped out, but we have Susan Martinez, Karima Hadil, Kerry Donovan, Root Routledge, Donald Valdez, Colin Wilhelm, Sandoval. Sandoval is awesome. I am in love with Sandoval. She is, I like all of them, right? Until they're humans and they're putting themselves out there. And I believe that policy is, and when it comes to policy, I believe 100% Sandoval is a community organizer. She's a social worker. She graduated CSU Pueblo. She believes in Medicare for all. She believes that health care is a human right. She believes in the Green New Deal. Automatically, she's the exact opposite of Diane Bush. Automatically, she's not a neoliberal. She also believes in public education. So, Sandoval, here is a video that she has just put out. Those are the 7 candidates. They're all running against each other for the Democratic primary. It's only going to be a month or 2 before the primary comes up. So we need to learn about Sandoval, Colin Wilhelm, Donald Valdez, Root Routledge, Kerry Donovan, Karima Hadil, Susan Martinez. I mean, basically this is just one big who of who the fuck are you? This is the Nobody Brigade. This is, huh? Who is that? Kerry Donovan? Oh, she's just the, the president pro temp. What's that? That's the number 2 senator behind Leroy Garcia. So she's only the number 2 state senator in Colorado. That's all Kerry Donovan is. The number 2 state senator is in this race. It's almost like, just give it to her. Donald Valdez, he's in the race too. Even if he loses, he's going to have to run again for his state rep seat next year. Donald Valdez, he's a liberal with a cowboy hat. But he talks about affordable health care. He did pass that police reform bill, which I'm very impressed with. But I don't know. I don't believe he's for Medicare for all. I'm not going to send you all the way to Washington, D.C. just so you don't vote for Medicare for all. And then a Green New Deal. This is Diane Bush. She had the 3rd Congressional District. This is Scott Tipton's old seat. He was in there for 8 to 10 years. Lauren Boebert is a beast. Lauren Boebert is, she's a beast. I don't know where she's getting any of her stuff from. Maybe she does think for herself. I don't know. But she was able to oust a sitting Republican. She's got Fox News in her pocket. She speaks with confidence. She looks pretty good on camera. Whether she did a recon tour and then with the gun, I'm pro-Second Amendment, so I like all the pro-Second Amendment stuff that Lauren Boebert is. She was sent to Washington, D.C. to rattle some cages, and she's rattling cages, right? I don't like her. What I'm just trying to say is that Donald Valdez and Kerry Donovan and Sandoval has got a uphill battle. They got an uphill battle. They got a very strong competitor. And so we need the best of the best, the creme de la creme. So this is a good campaign. After this campaign, after the Democratic primary, all these candidates will be that much more stronger. And we want to pick the best one. So the best one I want is the one that's the most progressive, who I believe can go to Washington, D.C. and kick ass and take names, who won't sell us out. So I believe Sandoval, her heart is pure. I believe Sandoval will go to Washington, D.C., and she'd be the best goddamn representative, probably we've ever seen. But I know that she's going to be for Medicare for all. She's going to be for a Green New Deal. She's going to be for public education. So I don't see her selling us out on those issues, on those policies. And policies is that's what she's doing. She's a legislator. We're going to send her to D.C. to write some laws. So what laws do you think we need to be, needs to be written? You think we need a new constitution, a new amendment, a couple more freedoms? What kind of laws you want? Soul Sandoval, you can check out, here's a video, that's the whole point of this, is the video, the audio. This is on her Facebook page, Soul Sandoval for Congress, Soul for CO. So let's hear what Soul Sandoval sounds like.
Mother is from Colima, kind of like right next to each other. So my father is from Michoacan and my mother is from Colima, kind of like right next to each other. And I think it's hilarious that, you know, they didn't meet in Mexico, they met in the United States. We went from a studio apartment that was located right above a whole bunch of businesses to living in a one-bedroom. We had the bunk beds, and my parents had their bed, and my uncle had to sleep outside in the living room. I really feel like, you know, I have to dedicate my entire life to making sure that my parents' sacrifices were not in vain, because they did leave everything they loved. They left their culture, their family, their friends, their language, but they knew that if they wanted a better life for themselves, if they wanted opportunities, they absolutely had to leave. I graduated from CSU Pueblo. I'm raising now 2 children here. Lack of opportunities in Pueblo is an actual concern for me because opportunities are limited. Students graduate college and they pack their bags and they move somewhere else because they have student loans they have to pay. I owe more in student debt than I did when I graduated in December of 2008. They shouldn't be profiting off of individuals who don't have generational wealth. We've got to offer youth more than just encouragement. We've got to offer them opportunity. Pueblo is the kind of place that if you're ever down on your luck, if you ever need anything, someone is going to help you. You find yourself at the grocery store and you will find a container with a fundraiser for someone, and it is absolutely unacceptable for us to expect to have a society in which everyone's thriving when we can't even afford to be sick. While I was at social services, I really got to experience meeting families who were taking care of younger children. It's a lie that everyone who's on assistance chooses to not work, and that is why they need help. Professors and paramedics and even military come in and request assistance. I just took so much of that with me that I felt, you know, 10 years is enough. I'm ready. I'm ready to get out there. I'm ready to share this with everyone else who's not aware of all the things that are impacting our community.
I've just been so impressed by Soul's commitment to our community. She would advocate for the families that we served. It was not uncommon to see Soul working late.
How many Thanksgiving dinners and how many holiday toy drives is it going to take? How many veterans have to sleep under bridges here in the home of the heroes? How many times do we have to raise money for the child who has cancer? How many mornings are we going to send our children to overcrowded and underfunded schools? We can do so much better.
I like how she had mentioned that she's got student debt. She actually said she's got more student debt now than when she graduated. So how the fuck does that work out? That's usury, right? That's fucking greed. That's some bullshit. Well, yeah, you read all them books, huh? You read all those books and wrote all those papers? Well, you pay me $100 grand. I don't care. Fuck you. Pay me. So when it comes to student debt forgiveness, I believe that she would be in favor of student debt forgiveness. So I'll actually ask her. Let's send her that message. Are you in favor of student debt forgiveness? So we'll see if that gets answered. It got delivered, but the check mark is still not, hasn't been blued, hasn't got blued. All right, Soul Sandoval.
Soul has a fire in her, and it's a fire
okay, it's her friend.
I don't think anyone can put out. I know that Soul is going to take this work ethic, this compassion, this responsibility to community to Washington, D.C.
I've been on the front lines of this fight for over 20 years. I have been a social worker, an activist, and a community organizer, and I've come to the realization that no one is coming to save us. So now, it's time we save ourselves. I'm Soul Sandoval Chapoya, and that's why I'm running for Congress.
There's a 31-second clip here.
Families who were taking care of younger children. It's a lie that everyone who's on assistance chooses to not work, and that is why they need help. Professors and paramedics and even military come in and request assistance. I just took so much of that with me that I felt, 10 years is enough. I'm ready. I'm ready to get out there. I'm ready to share this with everyone else who's not aware of all the things that are impacting our community.
Okay, so what we got? We got 7 candidates. Greg Smith is out. He says that there's going to be we got like 3 heavy hitters, right? We got Donald Valdez, we got Kerry Donovan, and then we got Colin Wilhelm, who is a heavy hitter just because he's a lawyer. You expect him to have a little bit of money, and he's got, he's a civil officer for Colorado that the Supreme Court had to, validate. So Colin Wilhelm, Donald Valdez, Kerry Donovan. I don't know if they're going to get any debates going. If they're not, then we need to talk about what do they, stand for. So Kerry Donovan, we've talked about her. So those are the heavy hitters. And then I like Susan Martinez. I like Karima Hadil out of Rifle, Colorado. She's a homeless person, which is in Lauren Boebert's hometown. That's right where Shooters is. And I like Sol Sandoval. I think I like Sol Sandoval the most because, I've just started my research and I've seen her face. I watched her videos. She's got a nice demeanor. I believe her. I believe that she gives a shit about us. And so she will not forget that walking into Congress, that she's there for us. Who knows? Anybody can get in there and become corrupt. But frankly, I think that an honest person like, an average, regular person like Sol Sandoval, I don't know, I guess Donald Valdez and Kerry Donovan have been in positions of power, and they've shown that they can bring home the bacon, but they've also been in positions of power, which means that they could have fixed all the issues that we're confronted with. In some respects, it seems weird to me that the number 2 state senator is going to run for a House rep seat. Does a House rep seat, is that more powerful than the Senate to control the state of Colorado's resources? To be one of the major voices of controlling Colorado's resources isn't as important as being some rank-and-file nobody, going to D.C. to be a rep of, there's 1 out of 435. And so in some respects, it's like, can any of these candidates become the Speaker of the House? Can any of these go to leadership? So I love Sol Sandoval. I'm in love with Sol Sandoval. My guess is I'm going to like Karima, Susan Martinez too. Rutledge. I like Kerry Donovan. I like Donald Valdez. Colin Wilhelm, I guess, in a way, because I don't know who he is, and I know that he's a lawyer out of Glenwood Springs. Oh, that lawyer out of Glenwood Springs, Colin Wilhelm? What, he thinks just because he's a fucking lawyer, he gets to be a politician, he gets to just get public office just like that immediately, right? No, and then he's right, nobody can sue him, he's got the courts, right? Colin Wilhelm has already got one of, the 3 branches of government in his back pocket. So this is just a rural Algonquin round table of absolute, nobodies and no counts. And that's a good thing for us as Coloradans so that we actually get to have this conversation. Let's talk about who these people are because we need the best of the best. And if one candidate can become more progressive and the other candidate become more serious or more focused or more, I'm going to be, I'm going to challenge Nancy Pelosi. I want the one that's going to challenge, who's going to challenge Nancy Pelosi? She's been in there for too long. I don't want any neoliberal Diane Bushes in there. I want more Sol Sandovals. I want a true blue progressive like Sol Sandoval. And I guess the only thing else is, what are the laws? Let's see let's see your agenda, Sol Sandoval. I believe that you'll be, for forgiving student debt, for how are you going to get us Medicare for all? How are you going to get us the Green New Deal? How are you going to get us the public education? How are you going to do these things? What are the laws that you're going to go to D.C. to pass? I want to know the specific nuts and bolts. So let's see, what kind of legislator are you going to be? Do you have some legislation that you already got prepared, that's in your mind? You're just going to be rank and file, just going to rubber stamp whatever Nancy Pelosi tells you? Will you always give Nancy Pelosi hell? For 2 years, I want the best, motherfucker that go in there and raise hell and just kick ass and take names, and even if you don't get shit done, but you're like a Lauren Boebert. Be a Lauren Boebert for the left. Go 90 miles per hour. Be a beast. Stand up for what you believe in. Kick ass, take names, take no punches, take no shit from nobody. So I want Sol Sandoval to go in there, kick ass, take names for 2 years, even if she's too extreme or too over the top. I think that she'll start a legacy of, oh my God, those 3rd Congressional Colorado District, those progressives out there, they're on fire, right? So Sol Sandoval will be the first one, and then, let's assume she gets in there and then she sells out. Well, then we got another firebrand, and then it's in another firebrand, and until eventually we get ourselves a progressive in there that actually is writing legislation for the betterment of the United States of America. So there you go. Sol Sandoval, everybody. Way better than that Lauren Boebert. Anyways, peace.